beast, living in the beast. What's going on with my microphone? Sorry, it's maxing out for some reason. It's a bit of a sensitive microphone. It's a little external one. There's Lord Paradise and his white coat quacks. Hey buddy, I know I've got the quackosis. I've got the quackosis and the Lord Black Paradise. He's a crazy man. He thinks the duck's after him. He's clearly delusional. He's clearly quackophrenic. I'm like, look, white coat. Look at my wounds, white coat. And they're like, stop hallucinating. Have some of Farmer's poison. Sorry about the microphone, guys. I think it's going into the red line, so I'm not too sure why. So yeah, I was going to reply to some, some comments. I won't name anyone, so I'm just trying to get my bearings. You know, people don't like to be named or might be a bit self-conscious in the comments, but I just wanted to say thanks for the feedback, because it is nice to know that you're being heard and stuff, and to actually have a bit of a conversation about it. Hey, there's the orphan. I think that might be the same one that he was cruising around last night. He's a tough little bugger. Oh. So yeah, I'll get straight into it, try not get distracted by these ducks. So I forgot to mention a few things in that video about the video I made about trying to spread awareness about organised stalking and neuroweapons and stuff. So one other lady also replied. I think it was actually in a different post that I made. And she was a master's student in psychology and about to graduate. And she was interested to hear my experience. Well, she said, I'd like to know more. And so I did the usual thing we do. I posted a bunch of links, like to, Eric Karlstrom, and to the usual ones, like the Brian Coffrin things, and I think there's a guy, Mark Price, and his website was like World War III something or other, Silent War or whatever it was. And she said something very telling. She said like, oh, I don't want to look at any of those websites. I don't want to look at any of those kind of sites. And I think I replied like, oh well, how come? Like, if you want to know what's going on, you really have to look into everything and, try to figure it out for yourself, what's real. But she said, she just didn't want to. I think she said I don't know if she said she didn't feel safe, but I remember I got that vibe from her. She didn't feel safe doing it. So I think that's what's happening. Like, they just know. They listen to that inner voice of like, danger, danger, don't go there. Whereas many of us truthers don't. We hear that voice of like danger and we're like, oh fuck it, I just want to know what it is. I want to know the truth. And yeah, so they must have an idea there's something fishy going on, but they kind of like stick their head in the sand and just block it out. Who knows? I mean, I guess when they're practicing, they can help people on the quiet, on the down low, people who come to them who have been through the organised stalking and stuff. But yeah, I mean, to be fair to them, like if you're a graduate student and you've got huge debt, what are you going to do? Like, you're in a real bad spot. You know, if you're going to be, if you're going to be like, go all Jesus mode, you're going to like not be able to keep a career. Hey, duckies, break it up. So yeah, she said that she would have been interested to hear my experience, and I was like, sure, you know, do you want me to send you like a link to my videos when I make them? And she didn't reply, so I guess she kind of got spooked or whatever. So that was a little window into their world, of how they kind of, what goes through their heads, because I've always wanted to know, you know, it really nagged away at me. After the organised stalking thing, I was just like furious. I'd go out to nature and just fucking rant to myself because I was so furious at how this stuff just gets covered up. And I really wanted to know. I really wanted to like get an idea of whether they knowingly gaslight people who go through this, or whether they aren't aware, or at least how many are aware. I mean, sure, there's probably a lot of cluster B personalities in those professions like psychiatry and psychology, but surely they can't all be like fucking evil. And of course there's the other side of it, like, you know, academics have pretty big egos and their ego blinds them and they don't want to admit they've been fooled, like learning all this like quackosis, and you know, some of it has some truth to it. I think the personality types probably hold truth in that, but I think a lot of these like delusions are just to try to put the blame on you. You know, everything's shit because of you, it's your fault. The duck's having a laugh. Or like, you know, it's to hide abuse, like that never happened, you know, you're a crazy person. It's basically like narcissistic abuse. There's a famous psychologist, I can't remember which one it was, one of the really famous ones. Apparently he was like hired to gaslight the daughter of some billionaire that raped her. So that's how, you know, some of them roll. Hopefully not too many, but who knows. I thought about going to a free counselling thing here, like another one recently. I looked into it and they were discounted, and you know, it was a public service, so they'll be totally asleep, no doubt. But I had a look at the people who do it. Some of them volunteer their time, and I was like looking through them, just trying to get a look at their photo and evaluate like what kind of people they might be. Not that you can really judge a book by its cover. But shit, man, one of them was like an Irish burly like ex-psychiatry nurse, and he looked like a real piece of work, but I thought, I mean, he might not have been. He might have been a good guy, but I thought, fuck, that could go real bad if he's like, alright, Sonny, I can't really do an Irish accent, but he's like, you're well crazy, Sonny, and he'll get you in a headlock and drag you off to like Nurse Ratchet's care, and I'm back in the cuckoo's nest again. Well, not again, actually. To be honest, I never ended up in one of those places, but I easily could have if I had like just gone ahead and blathered about what was done to me. And cute little buggers. Shit, man, nature's such a help to break you out of just ruminating on that stuff. Ruminating on like how evil just keeps getting covered up in this world. Sorry, I didn't mean to mouth breathe on the microphone. Shit, this has gone on 10 minutes. Anyway, I was just meaning to keep this one a relatively quick reply. I think like most of my efforts to spread awareness about all this, because my YouTube was blocked, was banned for like calling out a certain group that run YouTube. I incurred a ban about 4 years ago, and so I hadn't been able to set up another one, because it is actually quite tough just to make another account. It's not that simple unless you're very tech savvy. And so I threw all my pearls away on Facebook. I actually, when I was fresh out of like the targeting, I actually made some pretty decent posts about it. Some of them were like heavily infused with metaphor and stuff, and my gormless friends were like, just fucking say what you mean. And I was like, well, I can't, because they'll censor me, they'll ban my account. So these people don't get it, They don't even seem to get how bad the censorship is. I had another friend who actually said something that was really, really accurate. It was like a double entendre kind of thing. He said like, you're freaking out of control. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. And I was like, yeah, I am out of control, out of the mind control. And he unfriended me. Yeah, it was interesting. I only actually ended up losing about maybe like half a dozen friends. I lost another half a dozen people that I met recently that, I understood it, like they didn't really even know me or anything. So I didn't expect them to stick around, but yeah, what stung was like no one actually, not a single person wanted to like hear more about it. The experience of getting, basically MK Ultra'd. Like, I would have wanted to know, and there wasn't a single person who actually wanted to know. No one like made contact with me or anything and said, hey, if you need to talk about it. I guess it is kind of a reflection on how few good friends I have. That's true. So part of that's on me, I suppose, but I still wonder, even if I had good friends, whether they would stick around, because from what I've heard, they often don't. They pretty much don't. Just back on the quack thing and the psychology thing, I'd love to just like, oh shit, here he comes. I'd love to gate crash a university lecture. It would look well crazy then, like abseil through the roof and be like, organised stalking, Zizet son, look it up, electronic torture. You're covering it up, you little future quacks. But yeah, I would love to like turn up and give a lecture on it. That would be the dream. And then of course the lecturer would step in and be like, classic example of schizophrenic delusions, or whatever they call it. There was a geezer who, how was it? I was watching him last night. He did some sort of psychiatry thing called like CBS or something. C bollocks. I don't know what it stood for. It's some sort of cranial thing, and he reckoned he could feel energy in a nervous system. I left him a comment saying like, I wonder if you could feel like the external like DARPA energy that people are getting electrified with. Yeah, I don't know if that comment will stay up. I try to post on a few of these things, but I don't know, we'll see. Like, if he is sensitive to electricity as he claimed to be, he might be able to feel the external stuff. shit, I better get back to the car because the fucking day's over already. Car park's about to close. Hey. The possessed bird is on my case again. Do you think I should like thrust the crucifix in his face and like learn some hard out Latin exorcism lines? Ooh. Oh, I was going to say one more thing and I totally forgot. Sorry, bear with me. Yeah, back to what one of the commenters had said. I don't know what to call you guys. I don't know. I won't say my, or call you guys subscribers or whatever. Fuck, man. The duck. He fully landed on my head. Put my hood up. Pulled my little jacket hood up. Fuck, you're a monkey. Ugh, it's touching his like sleazy underbelly. Come on, Lord Paradise, let's go for our afternoon jog. If nothing else, at least you can watch my videos waiting for me to get attacked by the black duck. This place is a pretty cool little microcosm of the real world, you know, with the big creeper running the place and the white coat guard. Here he comes again. His white coat guard, and then all the flying monkeys. I swear there's a lot of human flying monkeys that defend the black duck. They say things like, oh, he's a territorial duck. You know, these paradise ducks, they're very, very territorial, and he's just defending, you know, his property, or what he perceives to be his property. And as usual, I'm like, nah, you don't have a clue. The duck's after me. And they're like playing it down, and it's kind of comical, at least. It's a funny little, you know, light-hearted version of what targeting is. And there's also some other weird shit going down that seems really wrong. There's like a homeless fella who lives in the park pretty much. And, oh shit, I thought he was coming for me again. The black duck. I heard wings and I was like flinching. Yeah, so there's a homeless fella and lives here, it's fine. You know, I understand. I've been like living in my van for quite a long time. But he got really aggressive and like he was properly bonkers. He wasn't like, you know, TI bonkers where we are actually having people mess with us and people actually were after us. He was like, I own the park, what are you doing here, kind of bonkers, which is quite next level bonkers. And he actually beat up a couple of people in the park, and he's been allowed to stay. You know, they make concessions for that guy. But then there's this other lady, and she's this real lovely lady, eh? Me and her were having a big chat, like from one side of the river to the other, and we were like really enjoying the ducks and talking about the eels and what all the ducks get up to every day, and it was lots of fun. And then I was like, hey, you should come over, and she's like, oh, I can't, I've been banned from the park. And I was like, man, why would they ban, how could they ban a lady like that, you know? I wonder what she had done. Couldn't be any worse than like beating someone up, like assaulting people. I don't know, who knows? Maybe she did do something bad, but it's just the bullshit of this place. There was like the most lovely spirited woman I've met probably in the last, I don't know how long. She's banned from the park. Maybe she was feeding the ducks too much. I don't know if you can hear those ambulances, but there's also a helicopter that flies around here, flies people in that are really sick to the hospital, and that's been flat out. That's been like, maybe I'd hear it twice in the time I'm here for an hour, for a couple of hours. Hear like 2 helicopters coming in, constant sirens pretty much, ambulance sirens, and yeah, it's pretty obvious, like since the so-called stinger, the jabber, has been deployed like a couple of years ago, probably about a year after that, it's just been flat out. Hospitals like very busy. You think regular people might put it together, 2 and 2 together, like, or 1 and 2 together, or 1 and 1 rather is 2. I'm not the best at maths, but yeah, you think they'll put it together like, oh, there weren't that many going to, weren't too many going to hospital before they deployed the stinger, and then now there are. These ducks are definitely a lot more keen, lean and keen. I think all the good law-abiding citizens haven't been feeding them since the signs went up, so it's a bit of a shock for them. They're probably getting a bit stressed. They're probably like, what the fuck's going on? Those 4 there are on this epic double date that's lasted about 8 months. They paired up together, and it's pretty cool actually. I don't know why they're in a big group like that. Yeah, I'm going to turn the camera off, have a little bit of fun with them, and then gonna get out of the car park before I get trapped in there. Whew, another quick day over already.